Hi there, Julia Lyons here. I am home today working with the Sacred Fire. I have a bucket full of Cronewort, also known as Mugwort, and this Cronewort has been in my office, in my healing space, for at least a whole year. I harvested it from my garden and put it around the perimeter, the upper perimeter of my office space to do a number of things to help gatekeep the space, to help bridge me and my clients into the healing space, into the connective place between earth and spirit. And this year, as I was getting ready to harvest the cronewort in my garden fresh this year, it became very clear to me that the cronewort that was around my office was done. It took me 1 to 2 months to actually get to the point of taking it down from my office. It was so beautiful, and it, made such a mess, which I knew it would when I took it down. It was, really kind of a medium big task. And then it was like, oh, and then what is it going to look like? It's going to be so naked and bare. How am I going to decorate it? But I did it, and it felt really good, and I knew it was just time, even though I resisted a little bit. And so anytime that we have a shamanic tool or a sacred item that we're no longer using or working with, or that's finished, we want to do something ceremonial with that to have it really be full circle, to give our thanks and gratitude for that plant or whatever it is for working with us in the good way that it did. So I have all of the plant material from the Cronewort in my office in this bucket here next to me. And I've started a sacred fire here in my fireplace. And I did that with prayer, with gratitude. I went outside to the garden and backyard to harvest materials for the fire. I told them all what I was doing, what my intention, what my prayer was. And so we have this little fire going, and now come burn this cronewort with me. And when you could give these back to the earth, you could burn them. There's many ways that you can do ritual to bring closure to a tool or to something that you've been working with. But I really got the clear message that this was meant to be burned. So I'm going to turn the camera towards the fire, and I invite you to come participate, to drop in with me, to offer anything of yours to the fire that is old, outdated, no longer needed, anything you're ready to shed. And I also invite you to watch the fire. The fire often brings messages, and I have a feeling some cool things will come from the fire. So here we go. you want to, you are invited to connect in with the spirit of the Cronewort. So if you want to do that, you can close your eyes and drop in and say or whisper, "Welcome, spirit of the Cronewort. I welcome you to work with me as I work remotely with this sacred fire. Bring me messages, bring me healing. Help me to work with the fire remotely to shed any layers that no longer serve me." Thank you, sacred fire. Thank you for helping me to let go of this phase of my practice. Whatever was held with this Cronewort that no longer serves, may it be dissolved, may it be burned away. Brought full cycle with my gratitude and thanks. Thank you so much to the sacred fire for working with me and supporting this transition so that my practice and my work can continue to evolve, to change. Woo! To grow so that I can be in service in the best ways. As always, anytime that we're doing sacred work, I personally am inviting my compassionate, benevolent, helping spirits to join me to participate in moving the energy and doing this sacred ceremony and ritual. And so now I'm going to give the fire a little break, a little pause, so that it can eat. And then I'll continue adding more. I have quite a bit left in this bucket. And so we'll just let the fire digest. We don't want to overwhelm the fire. We want to work in timing and right relationship with the sacred fire as it's doing its work. So I'm just sensing that there's a good amount of Cronewort on here now. And I'll put this little bit that's from the bricks on the fireplace. And I'll grab my rattle and offer a song. Okay, so this is let me turn you towards me for a second there. This is a pine needle rattle that I made. I've been making rattles with pine needle basket techniques for, I don't know, a couple years now. It is a shamanic healing practice. It is what I call like shamanic art, where I either start with a prayer or I let a prayer come through as I'm making it, and just let it form on its own. I don't really have, the way that I work, I don't really have a say as to the shape or the style of the rattle. But this one was really clear that it was for a man. And I put, it's got a nice sound. I put inside of it seeds from a special tree from Belize where I work with Miss Beatrice Waite's family. And I didn't know really what it was for, but it became clear that it had a very strong male energy, and it was for a man. And I thought maybe it was for one of my friends that I've been wanting to make a rattle with. And then when I finished it, I realized that it was for my partner, Christian. So let's offer up a song together. I invite you to either watch the fire or to close your eyes and drop into a meditation to receive whatever is meant to be received for you. Dropping in, letting your breath bring you to center, letting your roots drop down into the earth, and letting your branches rise up to the sun, the sky, the heavens. Oh, 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 Thank you, sacred fire. Ooh. Thank you, healing fire. Ooh. Thank you, sacred fire. Ooh. Thank you, healing fire. Ooh. Ooh. Burning away, transforming it away, changing ways, your wisdom, oh sacred fire. And I invite you, if you're meditating with us and working with this, to have some time to focus on your exhales. And with that exhale, let go of whatever it is that you want to give to the fire. We can do this work remotely. It doesn't matter. We just drop in and hook up with our consciousness, with our prayer, with our intentions. Thank you, sacred fire. Oh, thank you, sacred fire. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you, sacred fire. Oh, and And as you invite things to release and move from your body in space, see if your body needs to move, shift, change position, stretch. That will help the energy get from everywhere it's needing to get. And now I'm going to give some offerings to the fire. I did this already before I started recording because I wasn't planning on recording. But always giving offerings. Oh, it likes it. You see that? Always giving thanks and gratitude in whatever ways feel authentic and heartfelt for us, whether we're harvesting from the earth or working with the fire. And I'm going to continue to burn more Cronie. I think I'm going to give her a poke. Let's give you a little poke here, fire. Let's see where you want to move and shift since you're doing all this good work with us. And I have a kitty cat, and I can hear him meowing in the backyard. He often shows up for ceremony and healing sessions when I'm working at home. Here we go. Boom. Here he is. You're the cat. He's like, oh, what's going on here? All right, go on. It is so important to honor the cycles, whether it's the seasons, the cycles in our life. For me, I have been working through, for the past over a year, I have been working through the new ways that my business and healing practice have been trying to shift. And, that's really challenging because I've been working in a certain way for almost a decade. And I love the way that I work and, working with the plants and all of the tools that I work with. I love it, and it's super authentic for me and feels true. But there's always an evolution in life. There's always an evolution, especially when we're doing, shamanic or shamanistic work. These are living traditions, and the traditions and the spirits and the plants evolve with us. Not just the plants, but also, the fire, everything that we work with. They also have a spiritual evolution and a physical evolution, depending on what it is. So it's always about evolving. It's always about healing, changing, growing. And when we get stuck in our ways, there can be not only stagnancy, but a lot of discomfort, a lot of anguish, a lot of, you can actually get sick from staying too stuck in your ways. So I'm always trying to work in the present moment and be flexible, and the foundation of my work is being in the present moment with my helping spirits, with the plants, and with my client, and doing what's called. But now that's being asked in a bigger way for me as I do more remote work, as I do more coaching and mentorship. And it's really exciting and it feels really good, but there's often a resistance to change, a resistance to growth, to healing sometimes. And yeah, we have to look inside and sit with like, why are we resisting? Do we need to grieve? Do we need to move in a different way? You know, what's causing that resistance? It's oftentimes scary to change, to evolve, to heal, and to re-envision something. You know, it's tough. It's really hard to re-envision. For me right now with my style of work, you know, people have been coming to me mostly for my in-person hands-on healing work. Like I said, for almost a decade. And I still love that, and I will probably always still offer that in some capacity. But right now, I am the most excited about my coaching and mentorship and healing deep dive container clients. And yeah, it can feel scary to change identities in that way. I really identify with my work because it's so me. It's so authentic. And it's so, you know, me and my purpose. So it's kind of scary to have this opportunity to reinvent, but it just has become so clear to me that like my remote work and kitty wants to go out. I'm gonna let the kitty out so he can be a happy kitty. But yeah, it's just become so clear to me that I'm really enjoying working with clients in big, deep containers where they can actually get the most exponential change. And I just completed another deep dive container with a client, and it was really just truly mind-blowing, the changes that she was getting and is still getting as she integrates from the container. Oh, that's gonna be a big one. Yikes, what's gonna happen? Crumble, all right. Bringing it to the ground. Thank you, fire. Big work here. Big work here, yeah. And I realize it's okay for me. It's okay for me to have preferences. And it's okay for me to change the style and the way that I prefer to work with people, especially when I realize that it's actually for people's highest good to commit to a 3-month container. So I just finished this container with this client, and we're in the week after integration of it all. And there's still so much flooding through for her, so much integrating. She's saying, you know, she's feeling really tired, but things are just drastically changing for her in her life that were, you know, things she prayed about for a long time and didn't get results or didn't even know some of the things were an issue until we started working together. And, you know, in these deep dive containers, 3 or 6 months, it's just powerful, man. Like, I'm essentially holding your whole spiritual and life evolution for the duration of that time. And we do weekly 2-hour sessions of whatever we need, whether it's sacred counsel, hands-on healing sessions, abdominal massage if you're in person, or more just like coaching, mentoring, and processing. And this client, I mean, she was a star. She just rocked it. She took advantage of everything. We have WhatsApp support so that you can get coaching or, you know, guidance or ask questions in between our sessions. And she just rocked it. She took advantage of it all. And it shows because her life is completely different. Only 2 weeks into it, well, it was actually 1 week into it. It was at our second meeting. She said, I already don't even recognize the person that I was when we started. And that, like, exponential change did not go away the whole time. It continued and continued and continued. And truths were revealed about the way she was functioning and living, about the way that she people pleased. I know that's a big one for a lot of people, about the ways that she was actually like not honoring herself in a lot of ways. To be a good person or a good friend or, you know, a good partner. And so much was shed and so much was like replenished and refueled and upgraded. And it was amazing. So I do, for the next couple of months, have a couple of openings for deep dive containers. And if anyone's interested, you can reach out to me about that, because I'm just loving it. It's so potent. Okay, here's the fire now. The Cronewort bucket is almost empty. I'm feeling the urge to poke the fire again. Not the most typical poking rod, but we'll use it. We'll rock it. And so if you'd like to continue working with the sacred fire, I'm going to keep the camera on it. You can continue meditating, listening to the sounds dropping in until it comes to more completion. In some traditions, they stay and tend the fire and continue giving offerings until, you know, whatever. Every tradition is different. I just work in the present moment with the fire and feel what I'm guided to work with it for. And in some traditions, you do the thing, you give the offerings to the fire, and then you turn away and essentially give privacy to the fire to continue doing its work without us needing to like micromanage it. I'm still feeling that the fire is doing the work with the Cronewort, so I'm gonna stay with it now. And I was just called to grab some ground yarrow from my garden to give as an offering to the fire. Thank you, fire. Thank you so much for doing this healing work with me and whoever watches you. Thank you for transferring the energy through time and space so that all of these people can benefit in the most potent and perfect way for them. Thank you so, so much. I love you and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now I'm kind of just feeling like the fire is still working, but it's kind of coming to its last like 10% of doing the work with us, burning the Cronewort, burning away the things that we all released. And I want to just share a little bit about the power of ritual, the power of ceremony, how I was feeling before and how I'm feeling now after. Ritual, ceremony, and sacred space can be done by anyone, anywhere. You can be alone, you can be in partnership, you can be in group. They're all really powerful for different reasons and at different times. Ritual/ceremony is a really, you're carving time and space out of your ordinary reality, out of your daily life, to work in the magic, to change the energy consciously and with your prayer and intention to make change in your life. And there is like few things more empowering than doing that and feeling the magic viscerally in and through your body, witnessing the change that can happen. It's so empowering. When I hold sessions or coaching containers or anything that I do with clients or with groups, I'm always setting a ceremonial container. And that's part of the reason, like the container is pretty much everything. Even when I'm doing these videos, I'm always saying a prayer before, I'm always setting a container, and it's actually the way that I'm setting a container that is why you might be able to access the potency more. Even though it's pre-recorded and you're not here with me in person, but I'm, praying and having the spirits set a container that you can step into anytime, any place from anywhere in the world through this video to work with the things that we're working with. So container is really everything. But before this ritual, this little fire ceremony today, I was feeling not my best self. I was upset over something that happened last night. I, had an idea of how I would spend this time today while my daughter's in daycare, and none of that was feeling right. I felt like I was kind of wasting my time and I didn't know what to do. I was kind of scrolling a little bit, and I didn't know how to recalibrate. And I had a few ideas. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and maybe I'll harvest some things in the garden. And I went outside and I got some sun, and then I saw the bucket of Cronewort. And I don't like things to linger too much if I have to follow up with them, like the bucket of Cronewort. I took that down about 4 days ago, which is not so bad. Like, I've definitely done worse, but when something is lingering like that and you have a follow-up task that you're being asked to do, if you linger on that, then that like lingering energy it can really gunk up the space. It can really bring stagnation and like a halt to the things that you're trying to do, even in other realms of your life, because it's like trying to get your attention. So I was sitting on the front porch getting sun, and I turned and saw the bucket, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So I started to prepare the fire, and you've been with me since. And now I'm feeling calm, at peace. I'm feeling back in the flow. I'm feeling hooked up with nature and spirit. And I feel excited about the rest of my day. I feel like I did something with my time. Ritual and ceremony are so important. It has this self-empowerment element to it, and it also, like I mentioned before, gives us the time and space in a sacred way to tap into the possibilities. I have had such unbelievable, just mind-blowing healing, transformation, manifestations that have come through ceremony and ritual, whether it's healing sessions, doing like a fire ceremony like I did here, doing a candle spell, doing a plant medicine ceremony, me receiving sessions. The change that comes is dramatic. And remember too that like the way that we're feeling is like a radio for the universe. And so if we're feeling fear, stress, anxiety, like we're in scarcity, if we're having self-doubt, then that is what we're broadcasting to the universe. And so when we notice ourselves feeling that way, ideally we want to do something to shift that energy. And I'm not talking about bypassing it to just be like, oh, I'm so happy now, everything is good. No, because if you do that, you'll still be feeling that way, even if you just pushed it down a little bit more. But like really doing things to feel it. So like earlier this morning, I was really like feeling all of the uncomfortable, unpleasant things that I maybe didn't want to be feeling. And so by the time that I got to this fire ceremony, I was really ready to work it, to like do the work to change and shift. And I feel it. I feel different. Sometimes when we do ritual or ceremony, we go through like unpleasant or extremely hard, difficult, uncomfortable waves. That is part of those feelings, those stories, those programmings having to come up and out and be seen and be felt to actually be released and moved through. But when we become consciously aware of our broadcast, we can literally change our lives and anything can be possible. If you have any questions about ceremony, ritual, working with fire, working with Cronewort, working with me, please reach out to me. Please like this video and subscribe and comment below. Let me know what you want me to make content of. I'm happy to, to tickle your fancy. And, I love educating and I love supporting and helping people. So any way that I can do that for and with you, please let me know. I'll have all of my contact info, my website, my email address below so that you can reach out, drop some comments below. And I hope that this was beneficial and helpful for you and that you feel the change and shift within yourself. Have a great day. Love you all. Bye.